Yeah, good evening, everyone. So happy to see. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mrs. Priscilla. Good evening, Mr. Charles. Good evening, Mr. Modu. Good evening, Mr. Aziz. Good evening, Ma. Our able mother, Ma. Good evening, Ma. Good to see everyone here. So, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Yeah.
you.
Okay. So let's begin then. So, good evening, everyone. Thank you for
Good evening.
joining today's program. Yeah. So, we're about to introduce our CEO to come on stage to address us. So it's my honor to introduce Mrs. Olushola Olayinka Idowu, OON, the founder and vice president of Bulan Helps Initiative, a non-profit organization dedicated to providing free food assistance to vulnerable households, particularly women and children in Abuja and across the country. In addition to her works with Golan Helps, she is also the founder and president of Urban Family Farming Community. Mrs. Idowu is a distinguished professional, having served as a retired Federal Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Budget and National Planning. She has also been the former National Food System Dialogue in Nigeria. Her contributions to the society have earned her the prestigious title of the Officer of the Order of the Niger, OON. Please join me in welcoming Mrs. Olushola Olayinka Idowu, OON, as she takes the stage to address us. Drum rolls.
Thank you, Mr.
Yes, ma.
Thank you. Well, my first assignment is to introduce the facilitators, that is a member of the team. And I will start in this order. I'll be introducing Mr. Aziz Salau. Mr. Aziz Salau is a youth advocate in agriculture and climate activism, serving as the founder and executive director of Community Action for Food Security, where he has positively impacted over 10,000 farmers and communities in Nigeria. He represents youth. He represents youth in Nigeria's National Task Team for Food System Transformation, participated in the Climate 2020 conference, and as a trained climate reality leader by Al Gore, actively engaged in global food security initiative and sustainable development advocacy. The next person I want to introduce is Mr. Charles Tuti. He has over 8 years of experience. Mr. Charles is a new media consultant and head of operations at Deno Media, specializing in online branding, digital consulting, individuals and organizations to leverage digital media for success, while focusing on reputation management and effective strategies. Passionate about innovation, Charles shares his expertise to help others thrive online and achieve their digital goals. The next person I'll be introducing is Mr. Timothy Amodu. Mr. Timothy Amodu is an accomplished agricultural administrator and a personal assistant at UFF, specializing in agricultural ICT. And with a foundation in industrial physics, he possesses significant expertise in seamlessly integrating technology into the agriculture sector. And the last but not the least is Mr. Daniel Arileshere. Mr. Daniel Oluwaseun Arileshere is a skilled agricultural administrator and a farm manager at UFF, blending theoretical knowledge in administration and agriculture. With a solid foundation in both fields, he is supported by his degree certification and practical experience, allowing him to navigate and integrate this domain effectively. So here is the resume of the facilitators for tonight. Thank you. You are welcome once again.
Thank you, ma.
So it's my opening remarks now. Welcome to our exciting new series of Who is Your Farmer? Just as people frequently ask, who is your doctor or who is your lawyer? We invite you today to consider once again the less frequently asked question, which is very, very important. That is, who is your farmer? In our new series titled Food for Medicine, we explore the incredible healing power of herbs and spices and their vital role in promoting our health and well-being. This journey is crafted for everyone, whether you are a seasoned gardener or new to the idea of incorporating herbs into your daily diet. Throughout history, herbs and spices have been cherished not only for their culinary delight but also for their medicinal properties. In this series, we'll be delving into specific herbs that can boost our health, enhance our immune systems, and aid in healing various ailments. We will spotlight local farmers who are dedicated to growing these medicinal herbs and share their invaluable insights on how you can cultivate these powerful plants in your own garden or kitchen. Join us on this herbal adventure as we uncover the remarkable connection between food, nature, and medicine, from the soothing effects of chamomile and lavender to the immune-boosting benefits of garlic and ginger. We'll discover how these green wonders can enhance our well-being. Let's celebrate the farmers who cultivate these extraordinary plants and inspire one another to embrace the nourishing power of herbs in our lives. So let's get started. Thank you, and you're welcome once again.
Thank you very much for that awesome welcome remark. And with this, I would like to also use the opportunity to welcome all our guests, our listeners, our participants this evening. You're welcome to another edition of the Who is Your Farmers initiative. And with that, I would like to go straight down to introduce our guest speaker. We are delighted to introduce our guest speaker, Mrs. Priscilla Aboje, the founder of Sharon Nature Villa Limited. With over 18 years of experience in the plant world, she established a company 6 years ago in response to the alarming rates of preventable deaths across caused by untreated natural health. At Sharon Nature Villa, the mission of the organization is to bring back nature's glory in health by harnessing the power of medicinal plants. The company cultivates over 40 species of medicinal plants, creating effective health products and promoting the concept of pharmacy and food as medicine, driven by the core belief that nature heals. Mrs. Aboje and her team are dedicated to sharing this conviction with communities at home and around the globe. Please join me in welcoming Mrs. Priscilla Aboje as she shares her valuable insights and knowledge with us today. You're welcome, ma'am.
So this is an overview of Sharon Roses as a whole, just one section of it. Actually, it's a very big space. We do flowers, flower vases. We also have a section for fruits and all, though not shown in the video. And then this is a section that is Sharon Herb Garden, where we have the medicinal plants now. We have rosemary, as you can see. We grow garlic chives. We grow different types of basils. We have about 5 species of basils. There's onion chives, there's parsley, there's curry, There's also oregano, chocolate mint, variegated oregano, marjoram. We actually have over 40 species. I would capture as many as I can in the video. This is what the space looks like. This is a back space where we grow the ones in bags. There's also lemon basil, another very interesting species of basil. This is still part of the garden. It's this is like the display point where we have the herbs in containers, and then so that if customers want them already planted, we just give it to them like that. This one is a blood plant. It's used in boosting blood levels. It's called Justica cania. We have a good number of it also. This is thyme, very good for cold. This is Italian basil. This is also still lemon basil. And then this is catnip for sleep and also migraines. It's very good in handling migraines. This is sweet basil. It's a nullifier and a powerful healing plant for cuts and wounds. And then this is lavender. We also grow this in large quantity because it's used for calming the nerves. And then this is rosemary, basically for the brain, and also a very powerful antioxidant. This is spinach, packed with antioxidants also. This is sage, used in treating high blood pressure or high blood sugar. This is variegated oregano, a natural powerful antibiotic. And this is Indian curry. This is actually the real curry. It's a powerful natural medicine for cholesterol. It grows quite big. This is what the tree looks like. It treats so many things actually. Now this is celery. We grow celery basically for heart issues. Cuban oregano helps to solve stomach issues, and it's also a natural antibiotic. Now this is Artemisia, where they make your artesunate from for malaria. This is insulin plants for those suffering from diabetes. This is horsetail. It repairs the bones and grows back cells, a powerful plant. This is butterfly pea for fertility, very good for those trying to conceive. Now time will fail me to take you around every single species in our garden, but this is basically all we do. We grow the herbs, make them into teas, and then we also do installations for people, that is those that want to grow their medicinal plants. We encourage customers to do this. We try to encourage the whole world to go into medicinal plants as much as possible. Have them around you. Grow your own medicine. We installed this few months back, and so we keep doing all we can just to encourage people. This is our tea, our iced teas we usually make from these herbs, carefully made, of course, following the right formulas in the right dosages and all of that. It works very, very well for different purposes. We have like three different formulas. You can see the fresh leaves. Now there's nothing like making teas fresh, as much as in some cases you have no option than to use the dried, but in cases where you can use the fresh, it is always the best option. So this is just one aspect of the products, is the liquid iced teas we make, and then we pack them into bottles and all of that. And then so when customers come around, we guide them on the right choices based on probably health conditions, challenges, whatever. You tell us what you intend to treat, and then we guide you. We also recommend teas and products that would help you. Our aim and vision is just to see that people are able to have these plants around them and take them, consume them. If you're having headache, you should be able to go to your backyard and pluck some leaves and make into teas. You mustn't do an expensive garden. You can use plastics. We have been able to come up with the right soil, the right methods, the comfortable methods for these plants, so that you can have them over the years. Now these are some of the products we've been able to come up with, and to be honest, they have been awesome. They have been awesome, giving us really, really good results. We make them from this plant after so much research and so much efforts and all of that, but the passion keeps us going. We do everything we can. We go online, do educative videos, do whatever we can do just to make sure that people are beginning to see, or to bring people to see, the glory in nature that we have lost over the years. And so it has been a really beautiful experience growing what I would call alternative medicine. It's a beautiful field, though it comes with a lot of challenges because so many persons in this part of the world are not very exposed to this yet. But then we keep pushing, we keep trying our possible best. So this is just like a short summary of the entire Sharon Herb Garden, and then our activities and what we do. These are plans we are getting ready to send across the states. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.
Thank you so much for that awesome video, sharing your experience and a lot of things you do. And with this, we welcome you officially to this session, Mrs. Priscilla.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. I must
All right. Thank you so much. So over to you for the first question, ma'am.
Hello, Mrs. Priscilla. Priscilla,
Please go ahead and ask the first question, ma'am.
she's frozen.
Yeah, maybe it's the network issue. I think you can just throw the question and maybe she catch it so from there. Yeah.
Okay, she's gone now. I think she's trying to get herself back. She's gone. Let's wait a little bit for her. Please, you can start once the question starts rolling in, then the audience can start putting their questions on the comment section so that we can ask her at the end of the day. I believe she won't get back. It's the internet.
so sorry, please. I don't know what happened. Everything just went blank. Can you hear me, please?
We can hear you now. We can hear you now. You are back.
Okay. Okay. Sorry about that.
No
Okay,
problem.
so I was saying thank you very much for the opportunity, and I really look forward to seeing more people join this community, as I really hope and pray that this dream and this vision would go far, seeing that it's coming to see many people join the urban farming community, and then coming to see many people people love gardening and actually practice gardening, urban gardening around them. Thank you so much once again.
Okay. Well, I want to say a big thank you for coming on stage. Our first question actually is this. I want to know what actually inspired you to transition from general plant collect knowledge to founding Sharon Nature Villa with a focus on medicinal plants.
Okay, so well, before Sharon Nature started, of course, had knowledge about plants because we own a horticulture garden, but all we did basically was flowers. That is not edible plants, just exotic plants and decorative plants and all of that. But then before now, I would always fall ill and fall sick, and it became sincerely became a thing of concern to me because I kept asking myself, could it be there's no way out of this? You hear so many persons fall sick, and before you know it, you've lost the person. I had a sick auntie who died of cancer. We've been trying to, reconnect with her over the years. And just when we did, few weeks we heard she had cancer, and then within those few weeks it came turned into few days, and before you know, they told us she had 24 hours to live, and that was it. She left, and I keep I just keep, unfortunately, keep coming in contact with this kind of stories on a daily basis, and I kept asking myself, does it mean there's no way out of this? Is there no a kind of lifestyle, or couldn't there be something else that God has put in place for us to make sure that we would not, just die unplanned and all of that? Well, I had that passion for so many years. I would always ask questions and without answers. But as time goes on, I fell in love with plants, and that was the basic reason why I actually studied plants in my first degree. I went for plants, that's plant science and biotechnology, the first degree, and then I began to really fall in love with plants. And then luckily we did some courses, phytomedicine and some other courses that will introduce you to using plants as medicine. We'll go to the field and then we'll be taught, oh, this can be used for that. And I began to say, wow, it means there's actually light in this line. But I didn't really know how to go about it until, of course, I graduated from school and then came back again, continued still in the plant field and all of that. And then I began to do my research. I began to ask friends. I didn't know courses that can teach one on how to harness these plants. And then luckily, I was told there was no one in Abuja. And then finally, someone referred me to one in Kaduna State, where I went to do medicinal and poisonous plants. So that was what gave me the basic information for Sharon Nature. And that was how we started with those medicinal plants. I had to import some of the seeds, import their soil because some of them wouldn't do well, being that they are not in their home country, with a whole lot of struggle. And then finally, we are here. We're able to come up with these medicinal plants. I began to read so much about them, trying to know them, trying to grow them, and all of that. So that passion for wanting to know why would there not be another way out is the basic reason that brought the fact that spurred up, that gave birth to Sharon Nature Villa.
Sounds interesting, and thank you so much for sharing those deep backgrounds. And I'm very sure every one of us listening can actually relate, from the undergraduates to traveling far away from your residence to get more knowledge. And here you are today, doing amazing things. So can you explain the mission behind bringing back nature's glory, and how it shapes your work?
Okay. If we look around us to realize that the that beauty that comes with nature, the stories we used to hear. First of all, let me bring it very close to us now. You realize that people do not live as long as
Yes,
Yes, evening.
yes, we apologize. I think our guest speaker is having some issues with
Issues. It
an
is
network.
internet. Internet. Okay.
Yes, and maybe where she is, maybe the network is really bad over there, but she's really going to join us back. I think it's an interesting conversation. From what I can see from comments, a lot of people are already interested. You know, you can imagine someone saying that I think the herbal or medicinal plants are actually better around us than grasses and all of that. And it may interest us to also know that most of these, plants we see around us, some of them are actually very useful. It's just that we really don't know their usefulness. And I think platforms like this, the one that our guest is really sharing, is really going to go a long way to really help us identify some of the usefulness of some of these crops we see as weeds and all of that. And please, let's start putting in our questions. We are very optimistic and very sure that our guest speaker is really going to, do justice and make sure that she answers our questions. I see a lot of people from different parts of the country. Thank you so much for joining us. I see people from the east, from the north, west, south, and the central part of the country. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much for joining us. And we are hoping that our speaker will be back shortly so that we can continue engaging through the questions. Yes, the program is indeed informative. Thank you, Chioma, for joining us. And we have a lot of questions to ask our speaker, and we are very sure that she's going to answer us diligently, giving us details of how she began with the journey, the challenges she has actually faced, and a lot of things these medicinal plants can actually do. And the most important thing is that we, as young people, adults, and all of that, I think we need to take this very serious, especially in terms of making sure that we do it. Yes, our speaker is back.
So
Yes.
sorry, please. I can't
So,
really
so
tell what's going on.
no, it's fine. So welcome back. So if you want me to repeat the
Okay.
question, can you explain the mission
Okay,
behind
please.
bringing back nature's glory and how it shapes the work you do?
Okay, so I was saying, if you look around us, you would see that so many persons have forgotten the beauty of nature our forefathers enjoyed in those days. People actually lived longer in those days, that we can all attest to. And so we began to really admire and then look deep into what actually made people live longer in those days, despite the fact that so many things have changed, farming systems, and the way our food is being produced, processed foods and all of that here and there. You notice that even some persons that still try to live healthy still come down with different kind of ailments, and before you know it, the person is gone. So nature actually played a very significant role. What actually kept our forefathers going, the major thing that kept them going, was their beautiful bond and their mutual relationship with nature. There was this glory nature carried, and that is what actually kept them, you know, so many decades or so many generations back. So the aim of Sharon Nature is to remind people once again that these plants are still there, these gifts that God gave us are still there, and all we need to do is to bring them back. Bring back nature's glory, bring back these things, bring back these plants around us, bring back those things that our forefathers and those persons would do, you know, back in time, that actually kept them. Nature had a very beautiful glory that has been pushed aside. I wouldn't say thrown away, but has been pushed aside by so many persons. So we want to see that people come to remember once again, remind themselves once again of how beautiful nature is and the glory that comes with nature. That is why we do so many educative videos. We try to bring in different kind of methods that would encourage people to go into growing plants around them and growing herbs around them. All of this is tailored towards bringing back nature's glory. We want to see that over time, people would begin to live longer again. All what used to happen in the past, that people would be healthier, our old men could still run, our old men can still stand without walking sticks and all of that. We want to see that come back to play. So that's what we mean by bringing nature's glory, and that's all we do in Sharon Nature Villa.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much, Ma, for the insights being shared. We are really grateful. How
Thank you
has
for
your
that. Indeed,
18
we
years?
need to really bring back nature's glory. And thank you so much for sharing that. And I think that mantra is something that we can actually stick to and make sure that we really bring back nature's glory.
Yeah.
So, how has your 18 years of experience with plants influenced the success and growth of Sharon Nature's Villa?
Okay. Well, uh, my experience has really helped over times. Over time, sorry, we've had mistakes, we've had issues, challenges, up and down, difficulties, and this long period of experience has helped me overcome most of them, though not all. And it has really helped to build my feet on the ground and help the company to a great extent, because the plant world in this part of the world, referring to Nigeria now, sincerely, it's not something that is very common. An average Nigerian man is not really thrilled by plants. It's not really a Nigerian thing. So it actually requires a lot of knowledge to be able to pull someone from that end of not having enough knowledge to this other end of coming to love plants and coming to appreciate them. 95 to 97% of the persons that we come in contact with, either as clients or friends, do not know so much about plants. So by the time you're able to tell them, well, I have been able to gather some knowledge about plants, I know this and that about plants, they see that you actually know and you're able to put them through. It really goes a long way. And this, I must say, has really helped in building the company itself and building the network that we've been able to achieve so far. Thank you.
Next question,
Can you hear
please.
me, please?
Yes, the next question, Mr. Daniel. Next question, Mr. Daniel. We're not hearing you. We're not hearing you, Daniel.
Okay, the next question. Thank you so much, Ma, for the insights being shared. What are some of the most significant benefits of using medicinal plants as a natural approach to healthcare?
Okay, I think Daniel is having some issues with his network too. Thank you so much for that. 18 years experience is no joke, and I think a lot of people need to, see the benefit and the glory around this. So, what are some of the most significant benefit of using medicinal plants as a natural approach to healthcare?
Okay. One of the benefits that I personally enjoy so much, and I've actually come to see that is beneficial to everyone, is the fact that these plants, especially the group of plants that we most times deal with, are completely safe. That's why I refer to the group of plants. When you're talking of food as medicine, somehow nature has designed our body to accept these plants easier than some of our conventional treatment. I will give an example with, say, a tablet you take for Panadol, or sorry, for headache, or say antibiotics, or some kind of treatment you would want to consume. Sometimes you might be skeptical. I don't know how I would react to this. I don't know how my system would, you even want to read the backpack to be sure that, everything is okay. But by the time you're taking something as food, say you're taking your scent leaf or you're taking your ginger or turmeric, there is this sense of, safety you feel on the inside because you already know your body will accept that easier than, that's the general treatment that is used for everyone. Your body would accept these leaves, these plants easier than most of that. I believe that's just the way God designed nature. Because from experience, if you've ever taken any of this, you would attest to the fact that these things just go into your body and they sit down well, referring to food as medicine, basically. They sit down well with your system. So that's one of the basic advantages and benefits for me over time, as I've also experienced. And then secondly, these plants, natural medicine as a whole, serves as, just as it's called in some parts of the world, alternative medicine. There is nothing as good as having another option. I've seen cases where you try the conventional treatment and it doesn't work. And I've met one or two persons who have done series of chemo for cancer and it did not work. Nothing was working. They were given days to die and some were given weeks to die. I've personally met about two or three of them. And then they switched to just taking, plants here and there, smoothies and all of that. Until date, they are still alive and healthy and doing well. So sometimes natural medicine plays as a very, very good option. These are one of there are so many benefits actually, but I would just mention these two for now, as these are one of the top two I consider as most important. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. So, could you share a success story where your medicinal plant products made a significant impact in someone's health?
Okay, I'll briefly share two. We came in contact with an elderly woman months back at an exhibition, an all plant fair that we went to, and then she complained of having arthritis, having high blood sugar levels, having high blood pressure. In fact, she really had so much going on in her system, and she had taken so many drugs that the doctors were now very careful of what to administer to her because she also had ulcer. And then she just reluctantly walked in, and then we introduced her into this to these plants, showed her how powerful nature is and all of that, and then we gave her some of the herbs because we have some of them we have dried. We grow the plants and then we dry some of them. We gave her some of them for blood pressure, for high blood sugar and all of that. And then she went back home, started taking them, and within just a week and some days, her blood sugar level dropped very, very low, even beyond the average level. And she was really, really shocked. She even testified to her pharmacist, and the pharmacist was so excited. She wanted to know more. She wanted to even have some of those plants and all of that. And then there was this other woman who has also been on her BP drugs for a very long time, but the side effects were really beginning to tell on her. She was beginning to cough, have headaches, and all of that. And she was just looking for another way out. And then we introduced her to plants that would help with her high blood pressure. And it's been almost 6 months now, and she has not had to take any of those drugs. She's been free from the side effects and all of that. Like I always tell people, it is not really about the product, or that is what we put together, or the plants or whatever. It is about what God has put into this plant. It goes beyond man. When God has put in let's say antibacterial properties into a plant, it would definitely do what it has been told to do. So that is how powerful these things are. They really, really, really work. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that testimony. Thank you. Thank you. In fact, this program has really been impactful. In fact, we're really interested in what you've been saying here. Thank you very much. Okay, so the next question is
Thank
Now,
you so much, ma.
considering your
With
vision
over
and
40
what
species of medicinal
aspire
plants
to
in your
achieve in
collection,
this field of
how do you decide which
plant
plants to cultivate and use in your
cultivation,
product?
which you've been explaining, what challenges have you faced in promoting the idea of food as medicine, and how have hello, can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you
Hello.
now.
Yes, we can hear you, Mr. Daniel. We can hear you.
Daniel, come
Okay,
again,
yeah,
please
thank
come
you. Okay, I
again.
said thank you very much. Okay, okay, thank you
Just
very
the
much
question.
for
Ask the
your
question. Ask the
explanation and your
question.
testimonies. Okay, so I said, what challenges have you faced, in promoting the idea of food as medicine, and how have you addressed them?
Okay, the first challenge I would mention would be the fact that many people do not know so much about plants and are not very willing to welcome them. You see someone who is, I've met some persons that have some very chronic conditions, and unfortunately they can no longer even see their doctors or take drugs because the doctors have told them even if you take a tablet of Panadol, or if you go beyond the level you are now, it would further damage your body on the inside. And then, but they still find it difficult to accept nature even at that point, you know. So we do our best to talk to people to encourage. I remember someone telling me at an event that all she knows is that is she doesn't know anything like taking ginger and lemon or mint or whatever. All she knows is her Coke and her Fanta for her and her children, and then she doesn't know any other thing aside that, you know. So, and this forms a major percentage of the category of people we meet on a daily basis. So trying to convince them so that you don't sound too convincing, and so that you try to balance the whole thing at times can be quite challenging. But well, we've been able to use the social media and different platforms to see how to educate people more. Sometimes it's a gradual process. Sometimes they just come up, pick, buy maybe one or two plants for a start. Sometimes they start with asking you questions, and then before you know it, they are able to switch on to the natural, or they are able to understand nature with you, and they're able to love nature with you. Another challenge is the fact that we find it difficult to explore this field as much as we want to, because the country we find ourselves does not have enough facilities, and when they do, they are not as affordable as they should be. We don't have enough facilities that can help to ease the aspect of research. And research is very, very important in this field. When you find labs, they are very expensive, and then there are no free labs, or there are no supports, just challenges here and there. These are the two basic challenges we have been facing. But for both of them, we decided to just take one step at a time, and then we are pushing it, and we are doing really fine. Thank you.
Wow, this is great. Okay, thank you so much for the insights, man. We are grateful, man. The next is, with over 40 species of medicinal plants in your collection, how do you decide which plants to cultivate and use in your products?
Okay. So in the field of natural medicine, we have two basic classes of herbs. We have domestic herbs and we have the wild herbs. Those are the simple terms used to group them, because you have wild herbs, and then you have the domestic herbs. The wild herbs are those that require, say, extra consciousness. They are those that have their medicinal properties in very high levels. So you have to be very careful the way you use them. You want to be sure of the dosage. You want to be sure that you're not taking it wrongly and all of that. So, but that's for the wild herbs. So for Sharon Nature, we have structured in such a way that we grow only food as medicine. What you can take as food, what you can add to your dishes, or at most what you can take as tea, make up for the only collections we have in Sharon Nature. We do as we try as much as we can not to grow the wild herbs, because we have we have thousands in our database as customers, and we do not want to we will not be able to control how they take some of these plants over time, and we do not want to have issues or discouraging reports at the end of the day. So what we do is that we've been able to narrow down our collection to basically food as medicine. Things like rosemary, which you would usually dry and add to your meats or your stew or whatever. Things like basil, things like chives, things like oregano, just simple plants that you already know about. But then we try to introduce the very medicinal aspect, because aside the culinary aspect, those plants are actually very, very, very powerful. So yes, they are food as medicine, but yes, they are powerful, and yes, they are able to meet up with when we need to, bring one or two plants together for someone who is having one condition or the other. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's really interesting to know that there are some wild herbs. So I know of wild animals, but it's really interesting to know that some herbs that actually wild. Thank you so much for sharing those insights. So, what advice would you give, individuals or family who want to start growing their own pharmacy at home?
Okay, first thing I would like to say is just picture that you have an antidote for every health condition in your backyard. Just for a moment, picture that you have a solution. Your neighbor is down with, say, even cancer, even high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and there's a plant growing behind you that you can recommend to someone who is down and who is discouraged and who is depressed, and the person begins to take this natural gift from nature, and then they begin to feel healthy, and they begin to feel fine again. So even though you don't want to grow plants as a whole for yourself, you want to grow for someone. That someone could be your child, that someone could be your brother, that someone could be anybody close to you at the end of the day. So let that be your driving force, let that be your push, first of all, because I'm saying that because so many persons are not really interested in this line. But trust me, if you get to use medicinal plants, you would appreciate that. To a great extent, these plants have really shaped my life and that of my family and so many other persons. I've formed a clique of friends and loved ones as a result of someone was sick, and then the person took herbs, and then the person gets better, and then someone's life is getting longer and extended, just because you introduced a particular natural therapy or a particular natural plant to that person. So first of all, this should be your driving force. Secondly, it is very easy to grow herbs, very, very easy. Unlike some flowers and some other species that maybe you need to water them every day, you need to make sure that they are not under the sun. Herbs are quite very easy to take care of. You can water herbs for as low as 3 times a week. So don't be scared of how do I maintain them? I'm not good with plants. Anybody can grow herbs, even children can grow herbs, because I don't believe that a child would forget to water a plant 3 times, just 3 times in a week. And then the nutrients are not every day. We have done all of these mistakes on your behalf. We've been able to crash, those loggerheads before now, and we've solved so many problems already. So growing herbs is quite easy. All you need to do is ask, and we'll be right there to guide you. So don't be discouraged. Start up a herb garden today. It will save you a whole lot that you might not even be able to quantify. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, Mrs. Priscilla. Thank you very, very much. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. With these your testimonies and all, in fact, most of us would like really deviate into, you know, cultivating herbs for medicines or cultivating plants for medicines. In fact, your testimonies have really been, really been impactful. So thank you very, very much. Yeah. So as an urban farmer, I'm going to ask you this. How do you see the role of greenhouses and gardens in advancing the use of medicinal plants? As an urban farmer, how do you see the role of greenhouses and gardens? Because that's the basis of our farming in advancing the use of medicinal plants. Thank you very much.
Okay. Greenhouses and gardens are quite very, very important. I'll start with greenhouses. They have great advantage actually to us, especially for those who are scared of, maybe starting up a garden or whatever. Greenhouse, a greenhouse would help ease the stress of say having to worry too much about pests, having to worry too much about too much sun or too much rain or whatever. It will help to a great extent. So of course greenhouses are very, very important and would help, to encourage urban farming to a large extent. And then gardens as a whole, there are so many advantages of gardening actually. Just having things grow around you, that fact that you planted something and then you come back, it's growing, it's doing well, it's adding up more leaves and all of that. It's a beautiful thing to own a garden, aside the fact that your interaction with garden with your garden goes a long way to improve your life. I remember in those days, you would when you're sick, going to a garden area to sit down is part of therapy. Just sitting down in a garden for number of days or number of weeks goes a long way. By inhaling, exchanging those phytotoxins and the rest, it helps to build up your immune system and so much more. So gardens rather, are very, very important, as well as also greenhouses. This will go a long way to encourage urban farming, especially for the greenhouses. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma, for sharing this insight. God really bless you and reward you mightily. But then,
Amen.
what is your vision for the future of Sharon Nature Villa and the broader impact of medicinal plants on health and well-being?
Okay. We have a lot of dreams, a lot of visions laid down, but above all, what we wish and pray for Sharon Nature is that we would be able to impact millions and millions of lives in the future by introducing them to natural medicine, because like I said, our aim is bringing back nature's glory. We want to see that every home has a medicinal garden. You should have a pharmacy. We call it FARM, as in pharmacy. You should have a pharmacy. Every home should be able to grow their own medicine. This is our dream, this is our vision, that out of 10 houses, we can see 8 or even 9 that have a medicinal farm at their backyard or wherever, in containers, on the wall, on the roof, wherever, however you can grow these plants. This is our dream. These are one of our biggest heart desires and visions. And we also hope to see that we're able to come up in the future with products that's real standard, internationally accepted product that can be used in treating even severe conditions, just like we have in some parts of the world. You go for treatment in some hospitals and then you are given the option of either going the natural way. They have natural pharmacies, and then they have the conventional pharmacies, whichever one you want to use. So it's our dream, it's our hope that one day nature and natural medicine will be completely, accepted by so many persons, because we believe that this will really, really make the world a better place. Because if not for some persons that decided to take this bold step, I bet you some persons would have lost their lives again to this. So it will be a great achievement to see that this thing does not end just as small as it is now. Let the whole world know about natural medicine, and let the whole world, especially Nigeria, come come to that point where they can just go to their backyard, get a plant that will calm the nerves, get a plant that would stop that pain in the joint, and then everybody will be just fine and will be very happy. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you indeed for taking time out to answer in details all of these questions. And I'm very sure that our audience have really enjoyed all of the things you're doing, in your capacity as a Nigerian, to heal the world, because indeed you are actually really not healing your own family, immediate family. You are healing your community, you are healing your area, you are healing the states, you are healing the country. And it may interest you to know that we have someone from Ghana, on this call, and they are really enthusiastic to know about how they can actually take all of this forward. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And some of our audience have some questions, and we are already displaying them. So James said, "Good evening to you all. Indeed, the program is informative and on time. How can one access the plant?" James, yeah, James from Ghana. So I wouldn't know if you would like to answer that.
Okay, I wouldn't know if it all depends on the flights. Should I say the level of permissions granted in your country? I wouldn't know, because some countries will tell you they do not want our soil in another country and all of that. But within Nigeria here, we've been able to pack plants and send across. And some persons have come around, buy their plants, and then travel the plants. Travel back to their base with the plants. So we would probably make inquiry and see how that works for you in Ghana. But sorry, before I forget, another means, just in case it is for, say, treatments, that is probably you want to treat one thing or the other. We have been able to dry some of them, like we do for some of our patients in the UK, US, and all of that. We dry them, and then with that, we are able to scent. So, as you know, when you take out the water content, it's able to last you for a very long period of time. So most of them will still do the work, you know, even in their dried state.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I hope that James got what he actually asked for. Thank you so much for for that question and that succinct answer. So the next one from Tunde: how can someone identify these medicinal plants around us and their use? Yeah, I think this is actually quite interesting. Yes, I would also like to know. Please, over
Okay.
to you.
Okay, it's not really difficult. Luckily, there are apps now. There is this I would probably get the name later, but most times there's a lens on your Google app that you can use. There's an app called Google Lens, and there's also a lens on one side of your Chrome when you're trying to Google, that has like a camera symbol. I don't know if it applies to all phones or all apps, but if you click on it, you can use it to take a picture of the plant, and then it will tell you the name or the group of name, oh sorry, the family name rather, or the group where it belongs to. And then you could pick up the name from there, and then you try to read up to know if it is medicinal or not. Now, the truth about this field of ours is that a lot of research has actually gone on. That's why it's surprising the way we hear different kind of news at times. Oh, I don't know this plan. Oh, I don't know if it will harm me. There is nothing you can't see on the internet right now. If you just want to be sure about it, you can go for research documents instead of just searching the Google generally. You can Google PDF documents. That is projects that people have done on different herbs. That will tell you more detail about the plant. So you can just take a picture of the plant, pick up the name, and then Google medicinal properties of so plants, and then such information would pop up for you. But by the time you begin to see, do not take these plants in dosage, take it like this, and then you see that the rules are quite so many, not to be taken by pregnant women, not to be taken by this. That's right there might be a sign of a wild herb. So all you need to do is to make sure that you follow the rules as stated by that particular article. This is one of the guides that helps us, pick the right species to consume at a particular time. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much for that. I think that's really quite interesting. So, do we have physical trainings on on how to plant medicinal plants and how to turn them into teas, etc., for treatment, and cure of some of these diseases?
Well, I want to take that. Well, what we actually advertise is that we're going to have our online training, not physical training. So we don't really have any physical training. Everything will be done online. Mrs. Priscilla and other speakers will be added to our platform, and you can ask them any question, and then they'll be able to answer you. But no physical training, please. Thank you.
All right, thank
Yes.
you. So, thank you. So the next question is about providing, or if you provide internship or trainings for intending people.
Yes, we do that. We even also have IT students, core members, whatever kind of training. We offer different types of training.
Oh, that's really interesting. Thank you so much. You are indeed doing a whole lot of work, and we are really proud to associate with you. We are proud of your, achievements, your leadership, and we are hopeful that this would really go a long way. So, how could one get, few of those plants shown? So, Mr. John is asking, is inquiring, yeah, get some of the plants that you displayed or we displayed during the video, short video.
Okay. If you're within Nigeria, we send across the states and they arrive to you. They get to you just as healthy as they are. We've made arrangements for that over the years. And if you're outside Nigeria, for now, for some countries, we dry them, package them, and send across so that you can still benefit from medicinal plants because in some parts of the world, they have not really been able to grow so many medicinal plants as much as they want to because of their weather. Luckily, we have a very good and friendly weather for herbs in Nigeria, so we're able to grow more of this food as medicine and than some countries would. If not, I would have said, okay, you can also search for the plants in the country where you are, but unfortunately it's quite difficult for some countries while some other countries are growing as many as they want to, those that have fair weathers now. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, it's indeed really wonderful. I can see a lot of great comments from our audience. It's really interesting that they have been following for the past 1 hour. Thank you so much, and I think the CEO, Mrs. Olushola, also has some questions. If you can hear me, you can go ahead to ask your question. Over to you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Aziz. Well, I'm seeing some remarks. There is a wonderful teaching and a powerful. Please, I want to start immediately. But for those that want to start immediately, fine. We thank God for that. Mrs. Priscilla, please, I need to ask one or two questions from you. If I want to
Okay,
start
ma'am.
my own, if I want to start my own herbal farm, how much will it cost me? Just give me an idea. What does it take to
Okay.
start a herbal farm?
Okay, first of all, we always advise that if one is just starting a herbal garden, it's not always very advisable to start with seeds because we have started with seeds and we know what we went through. So it might be quite discouraging for someone who is new to gardening to start with seeds for herbs. Vegetables are a little bit easier than herbs. So we recommend that you buy the already grown plants. That is why we're doing all we can to grow as many as we can. And for most of the plants, like we said, our aim for now is bringing back nature's glory. So our prices are not really on the high side. We have plans for as low as 2,500, for as low as 3,005. I think the most expensive herb as of now is about 10,000 naira, and that's because it's very, very scarce and we just have very few of it. So the prices are quite what you can use to buy bread or whatever around you, you can as well use it to buy your plants and then start up. We're not really after. I know of so many maybe herb gardens or whatever that have actually that fixed the actual price. I will call it the actual price because when you put in what it takes to grow herbs, you'll be tempted to want to give a very, very reasonable or high price. But over the years, this has been our aim and our decision to see that this thing goes far first. So don't worry about the price. With as low as 2,500, you can buy a plant, and with as low as 3,000 naira, you can get a plastic with soil. So, say if you have a budget of even say 25, 30, 50,000 naira, you can get the top basic herbs, at least three or four, five basic herbs that you can add to your meal on a daily basis to keep cancer and keep all the sicknesses away from you. Can start up with that. Sorry.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you,
So
ma.
let me say thank you for joining us for this enlightening episode of Who is Your Farmer in our Food for Medicine series. We hope you've enjoyed discovering the incredible world of herbs and their profound impact on our health and well-being. As we've learned, growing herbs isn't just about enhancing our culinary dishes. It's about harnessing nature's healing properties to support our bodies and promote overall wellness. The local farmers we feature today exemplify the dedication and passion it takes to cultivate these powerful plants, bringing their benefit directly on our tables and gardens. I encourage each of you to take the knowledge you have gained and put it into practice. Whether you choose to start your own herbal farm, experiment with new recipe, or integrate herbs into your wellness routines, remember that every small step contributes to a healthier lifestyle. As we conclude this episode, let me celebrate today our Mrs. Priscilla Aboje, the farmer who nurtured these medicinal plants and recognize the vital role they play in our communities. We celebrate you greatly. If you found value in this episode, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel for more engaging content, and share your experiences in the comments below. We look forward to continue this journey with you as we explore more ways to connect food with health in our upcoming episode with seasoned medicinal and herbal farmer. We promise one episode per month and we shall keep our promise. Until next time, keep growing, keep exploring, and remember that nurturing our bodies and our gardening can go hand in hand. Thank you and see you next time. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, and it's a wrap on this episode of Urban Family Farm with Your Farmer initiative, and we look forward to taking this conversation up. We apologize that we are not able to take all of those questions, but then I think the conversations continue. So you can also drop your comments in the comment box, and also follow the Telegram group so that we can continue the conversation there. Thank you so much, Mrs. Priscilla. Join our Telegram group. Thank you so much for everyone that has make this session really exciting and really interesting. And we look forward to engaging you more in other forthcoming sessions. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Compliment.
Thank you. Same here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
the compliments of the
Have a
season.
good evening,
Bye.
everyone.
Okay. Good evening.